You are listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense. Hello and welcome to Radio Nonsense, the official Comedy Club for Kids podcast that's suitable for all ages from 2 and everything in between. I'm Tiernan, and this week, listeners, I am still on The Search for Linda. And thank you so much for all of your messages helping me find Linda, as I have had absolutely no luck at all. Have I, Linda? 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 Where is she? Who is she? If I read you all my list of where I've checked this week for Linda, then it goes the closet and... Oh, no, that's it. Well, I mean, it is a very big closet because it has all my t-shirts and jumpers and trousers and pants and socks and scarves and hats and coats and ski suits in there. But then as you go towards the back of the closet, it has all my many costumes for when I have to travel through time and be in an accurate disguise. You know, like my medieval night costume for if I arrive in medieval times, or my nighty-night costume, which is basically pyjamas, for if I arrive at night time, my nighty-night costume, which is if I arrive in medieval times at night, and my nitty night costume, which is a night costume but it's made of wool, in case I arrive in an area of medieval sheep. And of course, my kitey kite costume, which is where I dress as a kite in case I arrive on a windy day. And then of course there's my nighty kite costume, which is if I arrive on a windy day in medieval times. Oh, and there's also my hat that makes this noise. And then, of course, behind that in the closet is my secret technology room where I monitor all of the world's monitor lizards because someone has to. And then behind that, it's Narnia. But I don't go that far as it's too cold and full of lions. But unfortunately, because that closet is so big, that's the only place I've managed to look for Linda this week. So let me see if any of you have any better clues as to where she is. More than I do, anyway. This is from Melody in Australia, who says... Why is Linda hiding in my closet on Wednesday mornings and 20 goopers? I am turning 12 lemons old, and I will give you 7 mushrooms if you reply to me or you feature me in an episode. Whoa, Melody, Linda is in your closet. Why did I spend a whole week looking in mine? Oh, I can't believe she's there. Although, why is she hanging out with 20 goopers? I'm sure the Linda I know but don't know would know how to blow her nose. This is curious. And happy 12th lemon birthday, Melody. I'm afraid I can't feature you in an episode as I have to spend all my time looking for Linda, so I do hope you have a good home for those 7 mushrooms. Have you tried giving them to a family of gnomes to sit under? That might be an idea. So she's in Melody's closet, maybe, but what do the rest of you say? This is from Koala Kid 59 in the US. Who is Angry Stuart Pilkington? Hi Tiernan, I've listened to Bust or Trust and left a review on that show. Thanks Koala Kid 59. That is very kind of you. And listeners, if you don't already check out Bust or Trust, please do listen to that too. And then they say, but anyway, who is Angry Stuart Pilkington? I mean, if somebody is sending over 700 questions, it's either clearly really important or crazy sus. But I'll let you choose. Loved a podcast. Wow, thanks, Koala Kid 59. Oh yeah, Angry Stuart Pilkington. Do you know, I haven't heard anything from him in ages. I wonder what he's up to. Why have 473 letters just thumped through the letterbox? Let me see here.
I am so angry that you're looking for Linda on your show, but you never look for me. 1 star.
Love from Angry Stuart Pilkington. What's this one?
Why'd you go on and on and on about stinky hippos? Who cares? Hippos are stupid. You should talk about naked mole rats, you idiot, and mongoose and stuff.
Love from Angry Stuart Pilkington. Hang on. Are all of these all from... Yeah, they're all from Angry Stuart Pilkington. I'd better find out what's rattled his cage this time. But before I do, listeners, don't forget that if you have anything you'd like to send in, or a question that you need to have answered, please get your nearest cabbage Hans Plonker, grown-up, to help you email me at podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk. If they would also like to support this show happening, they can sign you up to the ad-free early access Linda edition for a small fee at Apple Podcasts, patreon.com/comedy club for kids, or at radiononsense.supercast.com. Yeah, it's a new one. Exciting? Not really. But it is another place that your grown-ups can give me £3 if they like. Do also check out comedyclubforkids.co.uk for all of our live shows, and don't forget to enter last week's competition to win a copy of Mike Rampton's excellent book, Become a Genius in a Year. UK and Ireland entries only, please, but all you have to do is send in a stupid made-up fact to me at the usual email. Another 2,371 letters? This is ridiculous. Right, while I swim through all of this post, you listen to this most importantest bit. My guest on Radio Nonsense today, yes, it is none other than the acclaimed writer of the 100 Ways to Cook Books cookbook. It's Eleanor Morton. Eleanor, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I am very good. Listen, I am so impressed by your many, many recipes of how to eat words.
Thank you.
I've always thought that books are often like a sandwich just for pages. And you really ran with that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was initially where the idea came from. Was I had a sandwich and a book next to each other at lunchtime, and the inevitable happened. I picked up a book, not the sandwich, and it was like 4 or 5 bites in, I realised, this tastes different. And then I thought, wait, something in this, there's 100 recipes potentially in this. And after I'd been to the doctor and, had all the paper removed from my stomach, I got to writing, and that's sort of the rest is history, really.
Yes, I mean, it was, I suppose it is interesting that you did have to go to the doctor and have, the doctor did say maybe you shouldn't eat this many books.
Medically, it's not good for you at all, but culinary-wise, have you seen the film Ratatouille, the acclaimed film Ratatouille?
Yes, it's a documentary, isn't it? Ratatouille, about the rat
documentary,
the famous rat chef.
Yes, exactly. And obviously, see anything. And I really thought maybe we could apply that to humans. Rats will eat. I had a rat in my house once. He ate my soap. He ate my shoes. Wow. He ate my headphones. Not all of them, but enough that none of them worked anymore. So I just thought maybe, surely we're cleverer than rats, right? So surely we should be able to eat as much random stuff as they do. And I was wrong, but I don't, I'm not just a chef, I'm an artist, and I think it's important to push those boundaries.
You absolutely should. And I do want to point out that we are cleverer than rats, but when rats control us by pulling our hair, then we become even more clever. I think that there is some sort of thing that we haven't worked out with how, because we're always people try to poison rats and trap them, but actually if we work together, we get a lot of stuff based on that documentary I'm talking about here. Yeah,
of course. No, I mean, and I think they've done more research. There's a lot of people in the world who are actually being controlled by little rats under their hats. Jockeys, obviously. Most of the stock market, hedge fund managers, a lot of finance people, that's just rats. Just because rats like a laugh, they don't really care about money or finance. They just think it's funny to muck around with it,
they eat money, as far as that's what I.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they just eat money if
well, then maybe that's why then they just want more cash for snacks.
Yes, yeah. It is.
Literally cash
it's
for
interesting,
snacks.
Isn't it? Because we goats eat everything, but we never adopted having a goat on our head. Like no one was keen on that.
No, and that's funny because goats are, they've got hooves. You've seen the picture of one of them trees. They can climb anything. So you'd think a human head would be perfect. But I guess you'd need a really big hat, wouldn't you, to...
That's probably the problem.
I think that's the problem. Yeah.
And you'd have to have
where would you get that?
Guard style. Yeah.
Yes. There you go. Exactly. I mean, how do we know they don't have a goat under there? Have you looked?
No, do you know what? I haven't looked, and they're so still, and I wonder if that's the key, because by being so still, we all think, well, there can't possibly be a goat under there, but
yeah, well, the goat's probably trying to balance, so you do want to stay still, a lot of force strength in that,
that's very true.
And also, I guess that's why, the ones next the horse guards as well, they've got big hats. If there's a goat under there, you don't want to, they don't let you touch the horse because maybe the goat gets jealous of the horse getting the attention. That can lead to things. So it all makes sense, really.
It all, I mean, yes, it all makes absolutely perfect sense. And I have to say, as do many of your recipes, I've tried quite a few myself. I was a particular fan of the sort of, the one, I can't remember what it's called now, but you've got it's like your favourite sort of adventure novel, and you
Mm,
put mayonnaise and cheese in it and have a sort of like adventure cheese
yes.
sandwich. Yeah.
Yes, 20,000 Leagues Under the Brie.
Yes, that's the one. That's the
Yes,
one.
yes.
That was delicious. I really
Oh,
enjoyed
thank
that.
you. Well, I mean, a
Yes.
lot of it is the brie, obviously. You got to
Mm,
get the right brie, and then for a sort of underwater vibe, obviously, you can put prawns in there, you can put
mm.
fish in there, you can just put some seaweed in there. Seaweed's very nutritious as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
Um, I mean, the plot is not the most delicious plot I've ever come across. Captain Nemo is, he's not the most exciting character, but I do think the
No.
brie really elevates it. So I
Yes,
appreciate
yes, but
that.
it's. I think the book is about going deep in the sea, and I think your recipe has a depth of flavour
Oh, thank you.
because of
That's
that, and
yeah.
definitely one I enjoyed. I was a bit sad. There's books that you recommend that
Mm,
I haven't got at home, and I'm afraid I do have a Kindle. It's quite hard to
yeah.
eat some of the books on there.
It is, yes. Yes, you get through a lot of Kindles that way, and that is quite expensive
Yes,
as well.
it's
Whereas
really
with books,
expensive.
you can go secondhand shop, lots of old penguins obviously in there, not the
Mm.
animal, the book, although
Yes,
they might
yes,
sell penguins as well, I'm not sure. I've never asked.
that's a
And
good point. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and that's, people say, oh, this isn't cost effective because, 100 books to cook, that's a lot of books. Books add up, books cost money, even secondhand ones. But I would say, can you put a price on flavor? Can you put a price on literature?
Mm, mm.
Um, and at the end of the day, they do fill you up. Um,
Yeah.
one would say medically to a dangerous degree. So it's not as if you're, snacking all day, spending money on that. So actually, I do think people need to look beyond, oh, this is an expensive and potentially, harmful thing to do, and just look really at the artistry. I mean, would you tell Banksy not to put half a cow in formaldehyde?
No, I wouldn't. Was it Banksy that
No.
did that? No, it
Uh,
was. Well, I mean, he could do that. Do you know? I wouldn't. If he wanted to do that, I wouldn't
yeah.
say. I wouldn't say don't do it, Banksy.
No.
I mean, it
No,
depends
unless
if the
you
cow's alive, I suppose. I
and
wouldn't.
if it's
Yeah,
your
don't.
cow.
And if it's your cow, yeah, I think
Mm,
if you were a farmer, you'd probably say, please, Banksy,
yeah.
stop putting my cow in giant fish tanks. Yeah.
I'm thinking of Damien Hirst. That's who
Damien
put half
Hirst,
a cow.
yes, that's the one. He
Yes.
did. He did.
I think
Yes.
Banksy just drew a cow on a wall.
Right, which is less harmful to a cow. I think if you were a cow,
All round.
you'd prefer the Banksy method. I think, yeah,
All round better and cooler, yeah.
yeah, I
He's
think
my
so.
preferred weird modern artist.
I wouldn't tell Banksy not to draw a cow on a wall.
No, that's good of you. I
Yes,
respect that.
yes, thank you. Yeah, I think so. I was going to say, is it true because people say you are what you eat. Do you
Mm,
feel that you are now? Do you have all the knowledge of those many books? Do you know every word of every page?
that's a great question. I get that a lot. Not every book, not every page. You can choose how much to absorb. Sometimes you're reading a book, you're just kind of skimming the pages. That's the
Mm.
same with eating them. You don't really necessarily take it all on. But I've eaten, I do try and watch what I eat and select, it's not just Love Island celebrity autobiographies, it's Dickens, it's um Proust, all the classics.
Yes,
I
Dr.
really want to
Seuss.
have a
Yeah,
yeah, Dr. Zeus, of course, yes.
yeah.
Um, Dr. Zeus, MD, and
Yes, of
uh,
course. Yeah, of
so
course
yeah,
you
okay,
have.
yeah,
Yeah.
obviously there are some lesser texts in there, we could say. From Rags to Richie, the Shane Ritchie story was, maybe a mistake in hindsight to put
Sure.
in a Turkish recipe. But at the end of the day, we all, yes, I've got more knowledge in me now, literally, but also a bit more rubbish too. But you know what? Doesn't isn't it the same with food? Whatever you eat, it comes out the other end looking the same.
That's very
Not in the
true.
case of books though, because you have to have it removed surgically. So.
Yes, I was going to say. Well, also you don't. You could ruin the toilet paper industry by eating paper
Mm,
in the first place. I feel like Not only would
Yes.
you have all the, I mean, you have got quite a lot of authors and novelists who are very angry with you, but not only would you
Mm,
have them being angry with you, you'd also have, I guess, the Andrex puppy and whoever else makes
mm,
toilet roll. I think it's that just that dog, but they would also be annoyed because if you're eating paper, then you're not going to
yeah.
need paper at the other
No.
end.
No. And no, I have had, disputes with authors to which I say once that text has left your pen, it belongs to everyone. It's something
Yes,
for
yes.
everyone. So I do not see that as something they should be angry about. And giving them publicity, aren't I, really? You
Yeah, you
know,
absolutely are. And I have to say as well, I thought it was really brave and creative that they
mm,
sent you legal letters demanding you stop, and you just, I think you just put spread on them and
I
you
did.
cook them into a
Yes,
dish. Yeah.
I did. And a lot of people says that's really bad for you, but I thought I've got to make a statement, and I've also
Mm.
got to make pasta bake. So why not combine the two? And
Yes.
yeah, I think, at the end of the day, I'm an artist, I'm a chef, I'm a culinary uh, explorer. And if people have a
Yes.
problem
Yes.
with that, maybe they should examine their own issues.
I agree, although not the issues that you've eaten, because that's
No, not the big issue,
yes,
no.
not the big no
Um,
no no. You've and many issues of comics and magazines over the
yes.
years. Yes, yes. But well, listen, you're an inspiration, Ellen, and once
Thank
again,
you
I'm
so
so glad that you
much.
could come back onto this podcast.
No, of course.
Well, it's great. It's great having your expertise here, and I've got a big question that I know you are the
Mm,
person that can answer it. But as is usual on this show, and I know how you are with legal things, and I am sorry to
yes.
present you with more, but I do
Of course,
have
yeah.
two admin questions that
Great.
legally I have to ask you. Yeah,
Okay, yes.
yes, you're fine with that. You're all right with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we can have my lawyer check it over afterwards, but yes.
Sure, sure, that's fine. Just not on paper. I'll say them, in audio so that they
No,
they
great.
survive this conversation.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the first one. And look, listen, you've done this one before. I should say you're an expert in this already. But this show is suitable for all possible ages: middle, bronze, ice,
Of course.
47, whatever age you can think of. They can tune in. Apart from 100. Long story, but
Mm.
but. I just need to check if there are any rude words you won't be saying during this show to make sure it is completely suitable for everyone.
Yeah, of course. So I'm not going to be saying plurp today, and I think there's obvious reasons
Mm.
why you wouldn't say plurp on a podcast. You already
Yes.
look quite distressed
I'm
thinking
very
about it.
distressed, and I just need to clarify because is that plurp with a per at the end, or is it plur with
It is
no
a
no? There
it's
is
a P at the end.
there is a p, so plurp.
It's a
Yeah,
plurp, yes, yes. And I think
yeah.
obviously no, we the most offensive way of saying plurp is to really emphasize the R before the P.
Mm.
So I think not doing that and not saying plurp at all would be the way to go.
Yeah, well, there's because, and I'm sure you're very aware of this because obviously you know the word that you won't be saying, but plurp, very offensive to
Mm,
all people.
mm.
Plur really upsets cats because they think that you are misrepresenting their purrs.
Yes, and I hope you don't have a cat in the room there with you
No,
because
no.
when they hear that they go absolutely bonkers. It's
Yes.
like the opposite of catnip.
Yes, yes.
They get very angry.
Yes, really
So
violent. Really
so yeah,
violent.
no, I've made the mistake on live TV several times of saying plurp, and obviously really hindered my career. So no, I will not be saying plurp today. I will not be saying plurp tomorrow. You know what? Maybe I just never say plurp again.
Do you know what? I couldn't agree with you more. I would be very upset if anyone was to say blurb on this podcast.
I'm glad that we've agreed that plurp is out,
It's out. It's never coming back in.
never coming back in.
It is stay. It's a bit like a cat actually. Leaving it out for the
Leave
night and then
leave
also
it
the
out for the
day.
night. Why do people I don't have a cat. Why do people leave cats out for the night? It feels like something you put the cat out for the night. What to do what? Where does it go when it's out for the night? Is it
I think
going down the
it's
pub
it's.
or
I think well, the cat has places to go. It's got walls to sleep on and
right?
terrible songs to sing. But I think it's partly self protection because if you leave a cat in for the night, you don't
Mm,
know what it's going to get up to.
that's very true. That's very didn't know about that.
All sorts of mayhem, all sorts of
Yeah,
mischief, all sorts of
yeah.
plotting, evil plans. That's just what they do. and you
Yeah,
have to.
no, that's fair. I see that now. I feel embarrassed I even had to ask because I mean, I guess assume when people put the cat out, it's because um, the milkman comes by in the morning and gives you a fresh one, maybe,
Mm,
or it needs
mm.
to recharge or something. No,
No,
it's just so it can walk around.
yeah, they will go through all your financial sort of
Yes,
statements and
right.
cards. They will spend it all. They will. It's unlike rats that would just eat it. Cats will.
Mm,
They will go through all your kind of important
yeah.
documents. So they
Message
will
people you
bankrupt you.
fancy on the internet.
They will definitely do that. They will definitely do that. They cause
Send
chaos.
your grandpa a rude word like plurp on a text.
They will definitely do that.
Yeah. Okay,
Yes,
I see
yes,
now.
yeah. And it's not worth having to explain the next day to all those people that are upset. Like it wasn't me. It was the cat.
It
We
was the
forgot to
cat
let it out.
because we didn't put it out. Yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
and
Okay.
it's
Well,
not worth the hassle. Yeah,
well, I hope that
yeah.
was okay to ask that. I know it's quite a sensitive question for some people.
So no, it's a really important question, and
Mm.
and I have to once again thank you for not saying plurp. So that's the key.
Thank you for not saying plurp.
Well, thank you for also not saying plurp as well as
Well,
me not
thank
saying
you
plurp.
for
So
not saying
yes,
plurp.
it shall not be said. Listen, that was great. I really appreciate that we got through that question so quickly.
Mm.
The next one is really important that I ask you.
Okay.
But Eleanor, would you rather that every step you took, your feet made a fart noise, or that you
Mm.
left a trail of jam wherever you went?
Okay, well, obviously we've got to break this down into other questions. What kind of jam are we talking about?
Well, it's unspecified. So, and I should just say it is jam. So, any listeners in America or I think Saturn, that we mean jelly, but it's not jelly, it's
Jelly,
jam. So,
yes.
sort it
Yes.
out.
The
Yes,
fruit-based preserved spread.
that's correct. That one, yes. So we know it is a fruit, although you do get chili or chili jam. Is chili a
You do,
fruit?
yeah, it's more of a chutney though, isn't it,
More
really?
of a chutney, yeah, yeah. But I guess the jam is up to you, or perhaps
Okay.
it's just given you don't have a choice. I don't know.
What about marmalade?
No, it says jam. This is very specifically
Okay.
jam.
Okay, fine. It's fine. It's disappointing. I feel as a Scottish person I should be allowed marmalade for
You
cultural
should,
reasons,
you
but
should, and of course, you then that would be an easy choice because you'd have Paddington Bear following you wherever you
well,
went.
exactly, scooping it up and putting it in sandwiches. So,
Yes,
you
yes.
know, but I don't know. I mean, I've never met Paddington, but I know that
Mm,
Paddingtons can be quite the feral ones certainly can
yes,
be um not dangerous, but certainly I don't know if you want one following you around looking up the marmalade you've left behind.
that's true.
And that's
We
not
only know
to
about the nice one, and
we
who
only
does
know
cause chaos. But
yes, well exactly, even when they're trained, they're still, it's the thing is it's a wild animal. You can't expect
yes,
it to, go to the London Stock Exchange and not do something silly like dress up as a washerwoman or, fall out of a window while
yes,
while trying to clamp on up the side of it. So
yes.
now on the other hand, sometimes my feet do make fart noises when I walk. Because
Right.
if you're wearing very very specific types of shoes and
Mm.
they almost fit, but there's a little gap at the heel, you can and anyone can do this at home. You just get yourself a pair of shoes that almost fit. There's a little gap at the heel, just underneath the heel. You can make a fart noise every time you walk, and or the bigger the gap, I assume, the louder the noise as well. So,
Mm.
and that's
Mm.
really had no benefit for me apart from well, no, none. Every time I do it, I have to loudly say, "It's not me, it's the shoes," and that's quite exhausting if you're doing a 5K run or something.
Yes. I mean, is there the benefit that it does cover up when you're actually farting? Because you can say, "Oh, it's my shoes."
Yes, that's very true. I think the smell gives it away, but then again, my feet also smell pretty bad.
Sure,
So,
sure. Yeah.
hmm. I mean, I think it has to be the jam really, because or the marmalade. Even
Mm.
the risk of Paddingtons, you don't get a lot of Paddingtons this far north.
No, no, no,
I'm
no.
in Edinburgh, so I think I would be safe probably if I had marmalade
What about? I'm going to
trailing.
throw in the spanner in the works. So, what about bees or wasps
Yes, that's a good
or
point. I didn't think about that.
ants? Yeah.
Yes. I mean, that's going to happen regardless of the type of jam, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I mean, it doesn't matter. They are not. They're not fussy, and they like
Mm-mm.
almost any type. Actually, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the the upside is that if the jam is a trail behind you, like a sort of delicious slug, you are they're focused on the jam and not on you. So yeah, they're
Yes, that's true.
following you.
Yeah.
But if you've got enough jam behind you and it's on the ground, they should hopefully be attracted to that and not to you directly.
Yeah, I mean, if
Um,
you think about it, you might get employed by popular picnic sites to form trails outside of the site.
yes. And to ward them away,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, to create a distraction so that people can
Yes.
happily have their picnics.
A ring of jam around Hyde Park maybe
Yeah, that's
would
right.
work. Yeah. I think that's worth considering. Yeah. I think it has to be, despite the dangers, you know, Paddingtons, hornets, um, dogs, I suppose, as well. Dogs probably like
Yes,
jam.
yes.
I don't know if they
Yeah.
should, but I
No, I
imagine
don't.
they would eat it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's very few things I think a bit like rats or goats. I think dogs would go for most things if you.
Mm. What about if
Yeah.
I'm swimming? Is the jam in the water as well?
Yeah, I
Or
mean I
is it
suppose it
just
just
when
sort of
you're
floats
walking?
on top behind
Yeah,
you. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Because that could attract sharks. They might think it's blood, and then they would get really excited when they realize it's jam.
Yes,
Um,
that's
so
true.
that's
But
another,
again, you might be employed to be in very shark heavy areas.
yeah. Yes, I suppose that although, the risks there are a shark eats me, which I feel
Mm.
outweighs the embarrassment of people thinking I'm
Yes.
farting, depending
Yes,
on
that's true. Yes.
how embarrassed you are by farting. Some people will go to any lengths to not admit it.
And if you think about the farting, the farting's every time you took a step. But if you were swimming, you wouldn't be
Mm,
making any fart noises. So
that's very true. It's a tricky one, isn't it? It's
it's
what would you do?
that's
Take your
uh,
advice on this? What would you
I'm
do?
quite happy with fart feet. I think
Mm.
I think I'd probably have my headphones in, so I wouldn't be able to hear the fart noises. I think most of the time I walk in quite noisy places. I don't think people would notice as much,
Yep, yep.
and I think it would, yes, be very useful to cover up all my endless actual farts.
Yes, I can see that. I can see that now. I think at the end of the day, each one is its own sacrifice and its own
Mm,
reward.
mm,
And you've got to weigh up which one you prefer.
yes.
What suits your lifestyle, what suits your goals and ambitions.
Mm, mm.
And for me, I love marmalade as well. And there is dangers there, but I'm willing to take those risks because I am a high risk taker,
Wow, wow.
and
Yeah,
the reward is bigger.
I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed, and I
Thank
think it's a
you.
bold
Yeah.
move and an impressive move, and yeah, it's wow, wow. Again, so please, someone of your caliber could be on the show. That's the kind of inspiration our listeners need.
Well, I think it's good to sort of spread the news, the word as much as I can about my thought processes, my work. Again,
Mm.
people these days, that it's all YouTube and TikTok. And listen, I'm more I'm I'm more old fashioned, but what you see is what you get, and that is books that you can eat and
Yes.
marmalade trails.
Yes, yes. Well, exactly, exactly. Well, listen, you've answered the legal questions. We've covered that, and
Mm,
we've got the big okay to go through to this important question,
okay, great.
that has been sent in. And I tell you, this is funny because obviously you're an Eleanor,
I am an Eleanor.
Eleanor. Are you an Eleanor?
Yes.
Would you say Eleanor?
I'd love to say Eleanor, but nobody ever says Eleanor. They all say
Right.
Eleanor, or in Scotland, Eleanor.
Well, because you are Eleanor,
I
but
am.
we have had a message from Elena.
What?
Yes, so this is from Eleanor. That's why I was trying
Okay.
to distinguish. We've got an Eleanor, but
I
this
am
is
an
from
Eleanor.
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 Is that how do you feel
Okay.
about that?
I I've never met one.
Oh,
I don't know if we're allowed to meet each other.
right.
But I'm willing to go ahead with the question
Okay, okay,
because I know
okay.
that you're here to sort of
Mediate, yeah.
delegate. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
mediate.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. That's fine because I don't think Eleanor knew that you would be answering this question. I don't think you, Eleanor, knew that this question would be from an Eleanor. So I do appreciate.
Yeah.
I'm
If I'd
sorry.
had time
That's
to
on my
prepare,
yes,
I
yes.
would feel more confident about it. But you know what? Let's just go ahead.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Well, this Eleanor, she's aged 10 hot dogs. So I don't know if you know the hot dog to age scale, but hot dogs quite quick to make. So I think she's probably about, I'm guessing about 12, 13 minutes old, maybe.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, if you're microwaving, it depends on how she's making those hot dogs.
sure,
But
okay.
yes, so very new to the world, and obviously full of questions.
Mm.
And this big question is, she says, I want to know what would happen if a rainbow was backwards, e.g., if the pot of gold was at the beginning of the rainbow.
Mm. Okay. Well, I think you'd have a lot more people who would be a lot less motivated in life for a start, you know,
Right, right.
because obviously the whole point of the gold being at the end of the rainbow is you have to go get it. Now, if the gold's there
Yes.
at the start,
Mm.
what do you need to fight for? What do you need to prepare for? What do you need to work for? Nothing, nothing. And that I think is sadly very common today. People they do just expect the gold at the start of the rainbow. And
Yes.
you know, I think it's hard-working leprechauns. They don't put gold the other end of the rainbow just for funsies. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
That is something that they put a lot of time and effort into. So if it was, I think first of all, it would be bad to put it at the front. No, I thought when she first said backwards rainbow, I thought she meant the colors would be backwards. So instead of
Yeah.
red and orange and yellow and green, it would be violet and indigo and blue and green,
Yeah.
yellow, orange, red, I think.
Yes. Yes. That was very good. Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I'm glad you did
Thank
that,
you.
not me. Yeah.
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 I did a module on rainbows in uni, so
Oh, of course, of course.
yeah,
That makes
don't like
sense.
to
That
bring it
makes
up, but
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to question because I also, and maybe I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for saying
Mm,
this, and I'm worried that this could be the end of this show. But
okay.
how do you know which way round a rainbow is?
Well, I suppose the end closest to you is the start,
Yeah.
and the other end is the other one. But I mean, the thing is, I've only ever seen rainbows front on, actually.
Yes, me too. Me
I
too.
I've
Yeah.
rarely seen them from the side, and so therefore that asks the question, maybe there's gold at both ends. But full disclosure, I've never found any gold at the end of the rainbow. I haven't looked.
No.
Um, it's not really something I think about. I don't, again in Scotland we have a lot of rain. We don't have a lot of
Mm.
rainbows because after the rain just comes more rain. So,
Yes.
and what you need
Yes.
for rainbows is sun. So, it's not something we get to do a lot here, and it's not something I've personally experienced.
Mm.
But
Mm.
I'm willing to believe that there is the gold at both ends of the rainbow, in a sort of, you win either way kind of scenario. The only thing is to remember that it is leprechaun gold, and therefore it does disappear after a
Right. Right.
few days. Okay, so yes, you get that initial reward, but then it's gone. Like a chocolate bar or penguin you stole from the zoo and had to give back. It's not
Yes. Yeah.
permanent.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. That's. I mean, but that would mean if there is gold at both ends and the rainbow
mm,
was backwards, then would the gold be in the middle?
it might be on top of the rainbow,
Yeah.
or or if the rainbow is backwards, as in it's upside down, so it's more like a smile, and then you've got
Oh
coins
yeah. The
in
coin's
the
just sort of in
air.
the middle, and you'd have to just sort of slide it, like fall into it, like a coin
Well,
pool.
or you could get a plane and just reach out the window and
Oh
get
yeah, yeah,
the
that's very
gold
sensible.
from
Yeah,
either side. Yeah, yeah. I don't know any planes with windows that open and close, but
there must
I'm
be
sure
out
we.
there because
Mm,
there must be pilots that just think, oh, it's a bit stuffy in there.
yeah, and I mean, listen, if you're going on Ryanair,
Yeah.
I imagine they've had run-ins with leprechauns in the past. I think they're quite, um, you know, they are native to Ireland, but I think they're also classified as pests.
Right.
So I
Is that
imagine,
right?
yes, I think so. I think they've overrun a lot of agricultural places. Obviously, the farmers find them very annoying because they eat crops and they put curses on people and they mess with
Hmm.
cows and things. It's all very sort of mischievous and fun, but at the end of the day, it's not great for business. So I imagine Ryanair, if you did want to get some gold, Ryanair would probably have some kind of leprechaun repellent on the plane as well that you could use.
That's very
Um,
handy. That's very
mm,
handy. I didn't know
yeah.
that about leprechauns. It's a real shame. Is it because I know in America they advertise a cereal,
Yes, they do
And
like a
obviously
well,
there's
this
the
is
pot of gold thing. I thought, well, maybe they're just little cheeky chappies.
well, I mean, it's like rabbits, yes, or one leprechaun is very cute and fun, but 1,000 leprechauns in one
Yes,
field, all cursing you or asking you a funny riddle, that's stressful to live with.
yes,
And
yes,
I don't think the American view of them has helped. I think it makes them look a lot more fun than they really are. And if they knew that they were such a problem, it would be much easier to have them under control.
yes,
And of
yes.
course, that means that if you are visiting Ireland, they do obviously check you have to declare if you've got anything leprechaun friendly in your bag, any gold, anything shiny, really, they're attracted to all of it. Any or maybe, if you're the eldest son of seven sons, you've got to say that because, you'll be a target.
Sure. Yes, they do.
Um,
They really, that is a real problem if you are which is not a lot you can do about that. If you are the eldest son of seven sons, there's not really,
no, you
not
you
really much
you
you
know,
can do
but you
about it.
just have to declare it. I think you have to put it in your passport. So
Yeah, you
they
can
just say,
try and get your younger siblings to get lost. Like if you can lose your
yes.
youngest one.
Well, it's just basic. It's just common sense. Just stay out of rural areas. Don't talk to any men
Mm.
dressed fully in green.
Yes, that's
Um,
true. Yeah.
and don't use cash. Use credit cards, debit, payless, contactless, that kind of thing.
Very
Um,
smart, very very
mm,
smart.
yeah.
And I suppose just at this point, and I feel like you've really covered it in this question. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. But I just need to double check if a rainbow is backwards. Would that make it
Mm,
a wobniar?
yes. I don't remember everything from the module I did, but I remember that because the professor I had was he was sort of very unique guy. He was dressed all
Mm.
in green, and he would always do these riddles at the start of class.
Right,
I think he was from
interesting. Yeah.
Donegal. Yeah. Anyway, but yes, I remember him distinctly saying in one class, "Rainbow backwards is wob wob whatever he said."
Wobniar.
Yes,
Yeah, I
and
think.
then he
Yeah.
disappeared in a cloud of magic. So he
Wow,
always did that at the
wow.
end of the class. Yeah. It was so that we wouldn't ask him any questions about homework. He'd give the
I was gonna
homework and then he'd
say that's
immediately disappear.
yeah, that's tricky because a lot
Mm.
of these teachers and lecturers would say, "Come and see me after class. If you got any problems?" And he was avoiding
He
that. Yeah.
he didn't want, no, no. Which, I get it. That's why I'm not a university lecturer. Couldn't be
Yeah.
me.
No, no, no. It's a very, very hard job, and not least because all your reading that you'd assign to students
Mm.
you'd already have eaten.
Yes, exactly. And I say that's the way I work. And if you don't want to work my way, why are you even in this class?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's great. That's great.
Mm.
Listen. Thank you for answering Eleanor's questions, despite you being an Eleanor, and I know that the issues that can cause. And
Thank you. Yes.
thank you for coming on the show. And I have to ask, what have you got coming up in the next couple of 100 years? Anything exciting?
I'm thinking of reclaiming France for
Oh,
the
brilliant.
British. Yeah.
Good, good. About time.
Um, not. I'd like to reclaim it for the Scottish, but sadly we never had land there. That's disappointing.
Right.
But that could take a long time. So I need to gather mercenaries, longbowmen, um, obviously horses, a lot of cavalry involved.
Yes. Yes.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So fingers crossed for me.
Yeah, good luck. And have you thought about if you just took a little bit of land from Scotland, maybe
Mm,
just a handful of soil, and put it in
yeah,
France, surely
just
then that counts.
I never even thought of that. I'm going to do that next time.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. It's
Thank you.
definitely a winning trick.
Appreciate
Thank
that.
you so much, Anna. Thank you for coming back on the show. Thank you
Thank you
for
for having me.
answering these questions with all your wisdom.
Thank you.
Thanks so much to Eleanor Morton for being able to answer another Eleanor or perhaps her own questions while also being very, very busy eating books. Eleanor, not that one, the other one, I do hope you liked your answer, but if not, why not put any complaints you have at the end of a rainbow and no one will be exactly sure where that is, so I'll never have to see it. If you have a question you need to have answered or you want to send in anything else at all, then please get your nearest Cabbage Hands plonker, sorry, I mean grown up, to help you email me at podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk. Don't forget to enter the competition to win a copy of Become a Genius in a Year and check out comedyclubforkids.co.uk so you can come and see one of our shows live too. Right, I have had enough of all these envelopes. I'm going to find angry Stuart Pilkington and judging by the smell, he's still in a shed outside. Stuart, what are you doing?
Hello, I'm so angry that you're here.
Are you? I thought we'd sorted all this out ages ago. Why are you sending me billions of angry letters?
Well, I wasn't angry about anything, and I almost started to feel happy, which made me angry. I don't like being happy, I only like being angry. So, getting angry about being happy made me angry, which made me happy. But then I was annoyed I wasn't angry anymore, so I listened to radio nonsense for 10.4 seconds, and I was instantly livid, which was perfect, and so annoying.
Oh, I see. But why'd you have to let me know about it? I mean, I don't care. I've got things to do, like find Linda.
Which makes me so angry.
And fend off any last stinky hippos.
Which drives me bananas with rage.
Why?
I'm not sure, but it's great.
Well, I'm glad you're happy.
I'm not, I'm so angry.
Yeah, that's what I meant. And I suppose if it helps you stay happy but angry but happy, then you can send angry letters if you like. I just won't read them.
Well, that makes me even more angry, thank you.
And when I leave, I'm not going to close the door behind me.
I'm so mad right now. It's glorious.
And I'm going to fart before I leave too.
You are a true gent, a true kindly soul. I hate it. It's brilliant, but it's awful.
Well, I'm glad that's dealt with. Another angry customer. Hopefully by next week he'll have run out of steam and I can get searching for Linda again. Until then, bye!
You have been listening to
Comedy Club for Kids presents
Radio Nonsense! Radio Nonsense!
Radio Nonsense!
Radio Nonsense! Radio Nonsense! It's the end.